Representative Clyde, all of you, and all of the members here of Hamilton County, Ohio, that have traveled here to Columbus today. My name is Tracie. I'm Hunter, and I am the face of Hunter v. Hamilton County Board of Election that I filed in 2010, immediately following the last election 2 years ago. When I started the journey, I simply set out to run for judge of Hamilton County Juvenile Court. I've been a lawyer for 19 years, and I've spent my entire legal career representing the underserved populations of our community, making sure that everyone would have an opportunity to allow their voice to be heard. When I ran for judge, I was focused on our children, focused on our family, and the hundreds of thousands families that go through the juvenile court system each and every year. I had no idea that running for judge of Hamilton County would cause me to end up 2 years later at the State House asking that the votes that were cast in that election in 2010 would be counted. When the provisional ballots were counted, I was 23 votes behind my opponent. Many of you may or may not know that the majority of provisional ballots are generally cast in demographically areas that contain a high number of African Americans, as well as low income, as well as individuals, again, that maybe come from challenged socioeconomic areas. And it turned out to be the same in my particular case. I filed a suit before the votes could be certified. I was entitled to an automatic recount, which I have not yet received 15 months later, as I continue to wait for that particular election to be decided. In the meantime, 3 months ago, the Republican Party found a way to cause my opponent to circumvent the system, and he was appointed to the second juvenile court seat in Hamilton County, while I continue to wait 15 months later for those votes to be counted. The 15th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America says that no actions will be conducted by the United States nor by any state by color of law to abridge nor to deny the rights of citizens to have their votes cast. The problem is we're finding that they're now casting votes, but those votes are not counting. And so I discovered in a very precarious way that thousands of citizens were disenfranchised in Hamilton County, Ohio, and I set out to do, as a lawyer, what I've always done, to right the wrongs that had been administered to thousands of people across Hamilton County. Last week, the federal judge, Susan DeLotte, she ruled in my favor for a second time and said to count the votes. We filed a lawsuit based on the Equal Protection and Due Process Clause of the United States Constitution. And the judge agreed that because certain votes had been treated separately, what I mean is that when the provisional ballots were cast or counted, the Board of Election made decisions to count some votes that were cast in the wrong precinct but had been cast at the Board of Election. However, they chose to reject all of the votes that were cast in the wrong precinct but at the right polling place that were also due to the same poll workers working for the same Board of Election. They just happened to be working in the neighborhoods on election night. So they rectified or remedied the first group's problem, and they just remade the ballots and they counted them. But for the 300 or some ballots that showed up at the right place and due to no other error other than poll worker, and that's what all of the evidence showed at my trial, due to no other reason but poll worker error, they cast their ballots in the wrong precinct. Those votes were systematically thrown out. And it is very unfortunate, intentionally or unintentionally, that votes, provisional ballots, can be used to manipulate the system. When provisional ballots were implemented, they were implemented with the idea that everyone had the right to vote pursuant to not only the 15th Amendment, but the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which, as you know, was reconfirmed just several years ago. But when we don't count those votes and we manipulate the counting process to include some and exclude others, then we have caused there to be an equal protection violation. And that's exactly what Judge DeLotte ruled. And so we are asking today, I'm simply asking that we do right by the voters. When I set out, this is no longer about Tracie Hunter. I've been waiting for 15 months for those votes to be counted. This is about all of the voters, not only in Hamilton County, but across the state of Ohio, that will continue to be disenfranchised unless something is done to make sure that we are including votes and not systematically and strategically excluding them. Thank you very much.